calling is the show with no matter even if you're at home. Just calling. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, we gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Belize, everybody gotta put it on. Wake up, Belize, everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize, voice of opinion, not place, so calling, WB. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion, not place, so calling, WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is the show, my people. Believe our hopes are to needless reason. Nobody feel about is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah. No respect on selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WB. And all the things that must be happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize.
All right, welcome. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize, Morning Vibes. It's Friday. It's Friday, the 27th day of February, the 9th day of Ramadan, and the 10th day of the Lenten season. We welcome you to the program this morning. I'm Nuri Mohammed. We usually go through, as you know, our preliminaries, and then we get on to the news brief, and from there we will open our phone lines, but we do have very important guests coming in at 7:30 this morning. I'm sure that you will want to hear what he has to say. We'll go now to Mr. Derek Rodon, correct? All right, Mr. Derek is our forecaster this morning. Let's go to Derek.
Fair weather with only isolated showers. There is a high tide at 8:01 this morning, and the low comes up at 12 minutes past midday today. Another high is at 5 minutes before 6 this evening, and another low at 2:30 tomorrow morning. Sunrise this morning is at 12 minutes after 6. Sunset this evening is at 2 minutes before 6. The moon will rise at 2:31 this afternoon and set at 4:06 tomorrow morning. In the sargassum update, observations show sargassum increasing over the area during the past few days. Further increases are expected for the next several days, with moderate impacts along coastal destinations. In the fire risk forecast, the risk for forest and brush fires will be low to moderate today. With that, we end this report from the Belize Weather Bureau.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
Belize Telecommunication Limited, or Telemedia Limited, BTL, on Thursday held a press conference where it announced that negotiations with the Belize Communication Workers for Justice, BCWJ, regarding severance and interest has broken down on Monday. However, to avoid any prolonged standoff and going back to court, the company says that it will pay over 560 former workers severance plus interest at 6%, but only for the time of the Caribbean Court of Justice judgment that was delivered November 2025. Interest will not be paid from the moment their employment at the company ended. The company was clear that it is not applying any liability and insist that the employees who left more than 6 years ago are not entitled to any severance.
Despite BTO's best efforts, all negotiations with BCWJ have broken down and have come to an end. Now, BTO wishes to inform former BTO employees that BTO will make severance payments to all qualifying employees pursuant to Section 183 of the Labor Act, even though statute barred by Section 4 of the Limitation Act, plus interest calculated at 6% per annum from date of the CCJ judgment in Urban Marine and the Resale Media Limited, which is November 5th, 2025, the date of payment. BTO further commits that once an applicant's qualifying criteria is confirmed, payment will be made within 15 working days of such confirmation by BTO.
BTL's position is that the matter of interest before the date of the judgment would have to go back to court.
We can agree to disagree. I think that what I'm hearing you to say is that the CCJ judgment and the award from that judgment should be carried over to all and sundry. This is where we disagree. Our understanding is that a judgment award is for those who the award is specific to. If others want the same award, they have to go and claim that, because the court will look at everybody's individual circumstances. The court will look at whether they were reasonable to have not claimed within the 6 years, so they would have to cross the hurdle of statute of limitation. The court would have to look at how they exited BTL. The court would have to look at all the scenarios. Their scenarios, everyone's scenarios, is not the same as those 10 people who got the judgment from the CCJ. So I keep saying, I think there's a fundamental disconnect as to when we're thinking that the CCJ judgment, an award, is transferred automatically to everybody else who may or may not have the similar circumstance. And so I always get back to, do we want to test that again in court, or do we want to sit down and agree that some things look the same and therefore we can start to talk where we can meet in the middle? Or if we both hold our corners, then we should probably go to court to test it and have the court tell us on each count if all these scenarios are the exact scenarios as those who got the favor of the judgment under the CCJ. So I do respect that there's a fundamental difference in opinion. Legal minds differ even, but this is where we're at this point in time.
They have confirmed that the protest set for today at midday in front of the Southside Meats, the business that BTL chairman Mark Lizarraga owns, will proceed as scheduled. All right. As we have been reporting, Cuba is currently facing a growing crisis as the island nation is experiencing fuel shortages, as they have assisted many countries in the region.
Friends, we must address the situation in Cuba with clarity and courage. Cuba is our Caribbean neighbor. Its doctors and teachers have served across our region. Its people are part of our shared history. But today, the Cuban people face severe economic hardship, energy shortages, and growing humanitarian strain. Jamaica is sensitive to the struggles of the Cuban people. Humanitarian suffering serves no one. Apart from our fraternal care and solidarity with the Cuban people, it must be clear that a prolonged crisis in Cuba will not remain confined to Cuba. It will affect migration, security, and economic stability across the Caribbean basin. It is therefore important that we carefully consider this matter and take collective action.
Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar said that she supports the sanctions on Cuba by the United States as she supports democracy and cannot support dictatorship. However, she agreed that the Cuban people are to be assisted.
Let me remind me and us, every single leader in this room was elected by a free and fair democratic election. Everyone in our countries. And so I ask, why do some CARICOM governments and political parties believe that they and their parties and their supporters should have the right to contest democratic elections to choose them as leaders, but the Cuban citizens have no right to a free and fair election? And whilst I talk with you, Prime Minister Holness, I empathize with the people, the good people of Cuba, but there's a regime, none of us want that in our country, not one of us. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here today. We were all elected by free and fair elections. And so we cannot advocate for others to live under communism and dictatorship, but we want to live here in our CARICOM region under democracy and capitalism. That's an oxymoron, it's a contradiction. For ourselves, we want free democracy, but tell the Cuban people, okay, we feel sorry for you. It can't work. And as you said, Prime Minister Holness, we have to find a mechanism for the humanitarian efforts of the people of Cuba, but at the same time, we cannot, and I will not, Trinidad and Tobago will not support a dictatorship in Cuba or anywhere else. We will not support it.
4 countries are piloting the CARICOM Full Free Movement Agreement, namely Belize, Barbados, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Residents of these countries can enter, re-enter, and reside and work within those other territories without needing a visa or work permit. The goal is for there to be free movement across all CARICOM countries. However, Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar announced on Wednesday at the 50th regular meeting of the Conference of CARICOM Heads of Government that her country is choosing to support the initiative, but not to participate.
No, we are all committed to full and free movement. I know several CARICOM islands are moving forward with that. But in Trinidad and Tobago, again, illegal migration is a big problem. It has been left to flourish not just in TNT, but elsewhere. Currently, Trinbagonian taxpayers, we pay the bills for the tens of thousands of illegal migrants who have come into our country. It has put an enormous strain on our health services, government services, financial resources, and we are working diligently to resolve this illegal immigration crisis that we have. Again, many of you may not have it, but Venezuela is just 7 miles away from us. And we're going through right now to try to identify and do a registration exercise because there are thousands of them who are a drain on the taxpayers of Trinidad and Tobago. So at this time, I will say the greatest respect, Prime Minister Drew, Trinidad and Tobago, we are fully committed in principle to the full and free movement, but we have to deal with the thousands of illegal ones I already have in my country. So I will say, not at this time, but we agree in principle to full and free movement.
The Financial Secretary, in a circular dated February 18th, notified officials of the public service that, as agreed following the negotiations between the joint union and the government officials in June 2025, a first frozen increment will be restored beginning April 1st. The FinSec notified that those eligible for the restoration are public servants who were in the service before April 15th of 2021 and who would have been approved an increment between May 1st, 2021 and April 1st, 2022, had there been an increment freeze. He also emphasized that salary increments are based on performance appraisals. The second outstanding increment is to be restored on April 1st of 2027. And that's our news brief for this morning. There's more news coming up, or another brief coming up on 12 o'clock after the morning stew, one at 3 o'clock, and a full news broadcast at 5:15 on Creme Radio. Here on XTV at 6 o'clock this evening, we bring you the entire news. It's now 10 minutes to 7 o'clock. We'll take a short break, come back, we'll open the phone lines. As I said, our guest comes in at 7:30.
Informative, accurate, current information. Crem's newscast. Local, regional, and international news. Weather and sports.
Secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. That's at 501-222-4702. Or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank. Building the future together.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, text, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio. 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
Welcome back. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize, Morning Vibes, and it's your turn. The conversation is open. It's now 7 o'clock, and you could bring it in whichever way you would done. We are at 280-5848, 280-5848, and we welcome your call. Interesting conversation yesterday with Brigadier General, retired Earl Otters, and our brother Wayne Moody. Interesting because they were talking about a program that was 29 years ago. But many of the issues that was faced by our nation at that time is still our problem. And we are still challenged by youths shooting each other, youths forming themselves into street organizations for survival. We still have a government that is trying to tackle and bring that problem under control. It's still a very challenging situation. Our prison population has not gone down. I sat with the CEO of the prison last week, Friday. The thing that is on the mind of many, and I can't say all, is the issue of what is happening to our sister nation, Cuba, and how we are watching the effort to dismantle and to break down a sovereign nation by another nation. And it is a serious situation that we have to pay attention to, even though we are so consumed by many of our own local national issues. The fact is that this is a regional crisis. Some months ago, it was the attack on Venezuela and the kidnapping of the president and his wife being taken to the United States to stand trial for drug trafficking. We have seen also the aggressive nature of the United States bombing alleged, and I say alleged, why do we use the word alleged? Because alleged is before you go to court and are found guilty. Alleged is that we are saying that this is what we think you're guilty of. But the process of law is that we are supposed to allege that you're doing something, find the evidence, and arrest you, then take you to court, prove in a court of law that you're guilty, and then the judge, independent of we who are accusing you, say you're guilty or not guilty. That's not the process going on here. This is an assumed guilt. We've almost flipped around the Magna Carta. Instead of saying that you're innocent until you're proven guilty, we're saying you're guilty. Now prove your innocence. How could you turn the legal system upside down like that? In other words, we are looking at you already as a criminal, and we are saying that we believe that this is what you're doing. But presenting the evidence in a civilized society means that we can arrest you on these charges, but we should put it before a judge to decide exactly what's going to happen. So you say, well, that's what we're doing, Nuri. We are taking him before a judge in the United States, and then we're going to present the evidence for him to be convicted and sent to jail, as we did with Noriega and as we did with other leaders in doing it in this process. But that is against the legal system established by international law. In fact, it is against the system that is set up in the United States. We're not to go into any country and decide on our own that we don't like what you're doing, and so therefore we are going to send our own police or military in to execute what we think you're guilty of and take you into our country and try you. Let's change the scenario. Suppose we have our neighbor to the west deciding that they're looking at us and thinking that there are certain persons in our country that they believe have broken international law or even done things that they believe is not in their interest. Can Guatemala send some military people in here to arrest Johnny Briceño? Welcome, caller. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Nuri.
Morning, my brother.
I hear you, brother Nuri.
Yes, sir.
Well, who wants to stop it?
That's the question.
Who wants to stop it? So we got all these laws, international laws. We got all these agencies that develop with any chance as a country I could go to them. But who wants to stop America?
This is the question.
Who wants to stop Israel? Who wants to stop Israel for what they do? None of them. No one stop America. None of them don't stop Israel. So like they're useless. And they tell you all these UN and all of that.
Up your oil. Yes, your oil was found in your land, but you couldn't do nothing with it. That we had to go in there, set up the infrastructure, and made Venezuela an oil-producing country. And then your radicals decided that they don't like that deal, and so then get rid of by nationalizing the oil and kick we out. So now what Trump is saying is that we are going to go back in there and we're going to set up your oil refineries, but we are going to be in charge of your oil refineries, because in fact, it was we originally who even get you started in this area. And the thing is, Carla, could you imagine that the world nations are sitting back and listening to this kind of skewed logic and not got nothing to say? What do you do? What you do?
To show you what is happening in the world, Nuri.
Yeah.
The chance where they take place. You know, see people outright. The chance next country. The chance people. And everybody stood back, stay back. And so where are their lives for?
Yeah. Good question, brother. Good
where
question.
Where are their lives for, brother Nuri?
Yeah.
When one man could take you out of your country, strong for your position, and this type of we control it, and we are make the country better now because we are going to at least something, and we are strong the majority. And that's the way the world operates. That's how this world operates right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Chance, it's our chance system, and everybody to look on it. If he could do it, we could do it.
Yeah.
That's how they look on it now. You see?
You know,
because they got the ICG and all of them, they don't waste of time the way I see.
Yeah, well.
Netanyahu was found guilty of genocide, war crime, everything. Who going to arrest him? He fly all over the place. Nobody go arrest him. So all these ICJ and then how I see, they now waste of time. Maybe for the smaller nation, it might work. But for the large nation like America, that doesn't play no role.
Yeah, yeah.
If I Robert stumble it out, waste of time, the way I see it.
Yeah, but you know, you make an important point, because we are in front of the ICJ now. And our government and, in fact, the opposition has placed great emphasis and great expectation on what we will get out of us taking this case to the ICJ. But if we're living in a world of right is coming from your might, then suppose it is ruled in our favor, but the mighty Guatemala is not in favor of that ruling and decide that they're not going along with it. I mean, we saw that with Venezuela and Guyana, when the ICJ ruled against Venezuela's aggressive move against Guyana, and Venezuela just like dismissed that, like that. And okay, we are set type of response to the ICJ. So you make an important point, my brother. If we are a nation of laws, they say, and we try and make this thing from 45, from the time of 1945 with the United Nations, that we have this universal principle of law, that you are innocent until proven guilty, that you have rights of treaty and all of this, that there are certain laws that if you commit it and you
and us.
Historically,
yeah.
And us. Historically,
yeah.
yeah.
I like to tell you,
All right, my
This
brother.
thing might make right.
Yeah.
The way the system the work now might make right.
Yeah. It's
We can't say nothing. Everybody know why we prayed, we prayed for talk, because America could stand. So everybody they all back there.
Yeah.
And they all any smaller nation and think even some big nation. This setback with America and the crazy man. We know the crazy man out there in talk. Everybody, boy, we can't take chance, because anything sanction, we take with this, take with that, we don't get no aid. 125 million US.
Yeah.
That's how we got this administration right now in a leave hole. We want our money, boy, we can't talk too hard. No, say no, they can't pull what they say. And that's what they're moving on, Nuri.
Yeah.
That's when they're bigger. That's when they tell you they're bigger. You have to stand all kind of abuse because you're the beg. You see? And that's what people have to understand in this life.
Yeah.
When you get out there and you work your butt off, you got sick. Because you're not to beg nobody. You to work for what you want. But anytime you get out there, Belize and Canada, Bell China Bridge, Belize and China, they loan money for outside and think, and that's why your foreign policy, they're all over the place. All over the place because you're afraid to talk. And that's what happened with this country as we see. All in development is fine. But a lot of the things are not what we do. The money when they're all over the place, the beg for all over the place. One spelling going to South Korea the other day to get money. Where is 77 million there? I think for Saudi Arabia for the remember they have set up that solar system. You know, you're nothing but that 77 million net, Nothing you hear about that 77 million. We then get about 2 years now or more. For Saudi Arabia to set up something like Mascalera. They set up a solar system.
Yeah.
You know, you're nothing. I don't know where that money get to. Serious. You have to inquire about it and say where they go on with that money. 77 million US, I believe. And that's how I downplayed it. They downplayed that money. I don't know why. Nothing happened. 2 years and changed now. And nothing happened.
You know what comes to mind as you talk to, brother? Because you're making certain allegations here. They call allegations because those are not provable facts that you're saying. But because we don't have an active communications officer in all of these ministries who is constantly out there explaining issues, primarily coming from the Prime Minister's office. If they hear a concern like this on CREM, they should immediately begin to set up whatever infomercial necessary to say, yes, we have received this money from Saudi Arabia. Here is what we are doing in order for us to execute the plan of action to set up these, I think they call them energy farms or something like that, where we will be able to better our system of energy. You know, in other words, make it a point to address all issues that are brought up when questions come up. For example, yours. We talk again about the one. Then you don't wait till 5 years campaign to tell us about this, nor should you wait until there's a crisis situation and then you have to come like Alan Barton and begin to explain to us something that if you had explained it to us in the beginning, then we wouldn't have calls like this caller accusing or alleging where they go on with the money from Saudi Arabia. We should be telling us immediately, you got that money months ago, and this is where we are now. Another thing is that we've received some plans for the bridge. Keep us informed as the exact, don't just make it a news item. Coming out of, what is it called? The Ministry of Infrastructure Development. Give us an update on what's going on with the bridge, Big Bridge, as well as the Belcan Bridge. Make it your point to knock these balls, these suspicious balls out the ballpark and not allow people to get it caught up in suspicion, which looks bad on you as the government because...
And definitely I contribute.
Yeah.
I contribute and So
and company were making, and that if that money was in and company were making, and that if that money was in the hands of Belizeans like Barbados, like Iran, and like some of these other countries that have their lotto or their bolido, that money is being used for education and sports. Now that this government has taken over the bolido, I'm happy to hear, in fact, that the money now is not going into private coffers as it was during the UDP time, but it is in fact going to be used for sports, for education. So congratulations to the government for that. You must give them kudos for the good thing they're doing if you're going to criticize them for the things that they are not doing.
That's how I stand. I call one spade was spade.
Yeah.
That's how I parade. Spade was spade. But I'm all I'm saying, our foreign policy, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. You can't make one proper stand. You know?
Yeah.
You always have to pull back in your shell, you're afraid to talk.
Yeah.
You know, we have to get with foreign policy together.
Yeah.
This is the way we are moved. This is who we are moved with. But they can't do that. You can't do that. You take things from people. When the time comes for you stand up for them, you can't stand up for them.
Yeah.
You don't get all this benefit from Venezuela, you're afraid to talk. You get all this benefit from Cuba, you're afraid to talk. You sell eating, but you sell eating like you dribble it out.
That you're afraid for Big Brother. You're afraid for Big Brother.
You don't got a loudspeaker, they holler it out, you dribble it out, leave it.
Yeah, leave it by leave it. Or you're tying it in diplomatic language that, you could say that they say, I don't think that correct, but I can't go much further than that, But again, there's also, let's be real, brother. Rule in what's the word? In other words, you can't get free. You've got to do it in pause. You got to make sure that you cross your T and you dot your I, and that's called real politique. So we are faced in the Caribbean right now. This is a test for the Caribbean. In the matter of fact, the attitude of Mr. Trump has really shaken up the whole CARICOM. I heard the Prime Minister of Jamaica a few days ago suggesting that, hey, listen, we have to think in terms of really what Chagaramos or what this treaty was all about. This is not a like one size fits all, or all of us want to jump up and be in the same page. Talk was way back with Eugenia Charles from Dominica, who was saying, look, we've got to think strategically when we are dealing with the United States. If you remember, I don't know if you go way back in those days, but she was ceremonially on certain issues. We have got a strong position when it comes to a united way we're going to deal with Haiti. And Haiti has been in our face all this time. So maybe we need to go through hard times in order for us to grow the kind of cojones necessary to understand that we have some level of independence and sovereignty and that we have to exercise that, But thanks very much, brother.
You take care, brother.
Yes, sir. You too. Take care. 280-5848. We still have a few minutes before we go to 2 cent scam. These are times of maturation. Yes, these are times of maturation, and it is a time where governments that were trying to play cagey are being forced to say what's on your mind and make we hear where you stand on some of these international issues. Welcome, caller. Morning, sir.
Respect all the conversation, but we got our own warrior for Western Avenue this dust, man. We ask the royal family for the mayor and his son-in-law to please send our water truck back here, man.
But I may say, I may see something go on. Is no kind of work not to go on Western Avenue?
No kind of work, but that bogus sign where they send out, but I look at it, they know if it bogus the people, but the people are forgetting,
Oh, I see.
People don't forget, you have to remember that they left his son-in-law there to feed him, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm not going into the son-in-law thing, but I thought when you called last week...
No, but then, boss, we the call for creation, but this place...
I know.
Taxpayers, you know.
I might... Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's a simple slogan. With, oh, what about the people when on the street? What about the people there where the street no pay? My brother, the people don't pay the taxes where we pay. Yeah. They pay $15 a year. They don't pay where we pay the Belize City.
Yeah. I hear you, brother. I hear you, man. I hear you.
You know, we tired of this, my brother. Yeah. They bally sit down in their office, they got a whole building full of loafers. Come on, man.
But I heard the young Mr. Miller from the city council saying that they are doing some major work on some streets. And I thought I heard him say that the main thoroughfare from Mahogany Street going out, which is Western Avenue, that they were doing some work. You know, not to go on. I mean, maybe I misunderstood. Because if you're saying, you know, the
grader coach we are digging a lead drain, brother. One grader coach we are digging a lead drain and got we punish more than anything else.
Yeah, but work the start, right?
We start with last week the grader coach dig what clean the drain and that's it. What kind of work start there?
All right.
Huh? And for our Payu station to Bakken and 300 miles.
I hear you, bro. I mean, you live there, you see
stores, the shop there, all the residents of Bakken, brother, you got carry picnic at school, my brother.
Yeah.
The mayor need to bring here, your deputy mayor, your family need to come on the side and see what we punish, brother. One water truck they can't send till when they could get work started. Because it look like they need a compass, or I don't know, they must need Einstein for going to resurrect here. I don't know who they have to go bring to see what they need to do for not even a mile, not even a quarter mile of road, brother.
It's a small street, brother. Small street from Mahogany to the highway. It's a small street.
Jesus, man. I bet if he may have this in the front of his house, he may have done fix it. Because he fixed the area.
Yeah. This break, we have His Excellency Assad Schuman as our guest this morning. Stay tuned.
Alright, what's up guys? Good morning. You're watching WUB on Creme Television and Creme Radio, and this is to say Cam. Alright, and we're going to find out who all want and big up on Big Up Friday.
Hello, good evening, you're welcome. This is fast food, Maryland Fast Food here in the Central Park of Corozal. I'm bringing up this business here because it's mostly local food that we sell, like mestizos, the Belizean food, and that's why I want to big up all Corozalians and big up Corozal by itself, and all Belizeans, big up on yourself.
So yeah, this is Scoot, the best barber in Corozal. You just want to big up the whole Corozal, big up Libertad, of course, you don't know.
Okay, big up this fast food. She's my mom and we have really good food. It's here at Corozal Town.
Well, I just want to big up myself today and Corozal Town.
Don't say it.
Yeah. Oh, well, big up Friday and big up my family too. My mom, I am from the Riverol family. Yeah, big up Friday.
Yeah, we just want to big up everybody at Corozal, right? Welcome to beautiful Corozal. The peace and love, right? Welcome once again.
Have a vision? We've got what you need. idea to install. Brothers Habet, all you're under one roof.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria, con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente. Ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m. en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, texts, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio. 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
Tired of appliances that just don't last? Appliances that just can't keep up? It's time for a change. GE Appliances delivers reliability, innovation, and performance you can trust. The decision is easy. Don't settle for less. Choose quality, choose reliability, choose GE.
Through NHI, thousands of Belizeans have benefited from improved access to essential services without the burden of overwhelming out-of-pocket costs.
Countrywide, we have approximately 220,000 persons registered, and we are expecting that the inclusion now of Kaya District will take us at least 300,000 for the first year. To access services, you need to register at a clinic of your choice. You register using your Social Security card, so you can go on and register your entire family.
I think NHI is a program that helps bridge that gap between patients and getting not only affordable but quality healthcare services.
We don't have to come to Belmopan to have a medical care. You'll be right there, improve the lives of our residents and our children.
NHI program have always been a dream,
I have heard, we have seen the benefits.
Let me be clear about what this means for you and your family. It means that the doctor you visit, the medicine you need, the chronic care management for conditions like diabetes and hypertension, these essential services are now backed by the full strength of a national system designed to put quality care within your reach.
All right, welcome back. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, and we are glad that you have stayed with us. Our guest now is Citizen Asar Chuma, and he is here speaking at his own position and not the government's position. We want to make that very clear. What is actually going on in Cuba at this time?
Right, well, it's been going on for some time, right? Okay. I would date it from probably around the time of COVID, you know, or just before, around COVID time. That's what really hit Cuba hard, because up to then, remember, there had been a resurgence of even U.S. tourism, cruise ships, etc., because of this tiny opening that President Obama had made to the blockade. And then, of course, COVID was a serious blow. At the same time, we had the new Trump administration, the first Trump administration, adding more strict sanctions, if you like, or embargoes, you know, on Cuba. So,
but tell us, what do you think is the objective of the U.S. administration in this move? Is it to bring Cuba back in line, so to speak? Is it?
So they expanded south. They took half of Mexico in a war. They intended to go further, but they didn't. But they always wanted Cuba. They always felt that Cuba must be a part of the United States because of its geography and so on. And of course, in 1898, they invaded Cuba when the Cuban independence fighters were about to win independence from Spain. The United States moved in and took over. And they did some funny things. I mean, not funny things, some logical things that the U.S. administration was bound to do. For example, as you know, you studied a bit of Cuban history, the independence war was led by the people of Cuba, which included all the people, right? The so-called Spanish people, the African people, descendants and so on. In fact, one of the biggest heroes was Maximo Gomez, right? Exactly. Black man, you know? One of the first things the U.S. did when they went in and took over, all officers must be white.
Wow.
Logical. Yeah. That's what U.S. was all about, right? Yes, white supremacy. Yes. So they went in and they were able to control that country without actually colonizing it in the legal sense. So they kind of colonized Puerto Rico, they colonized Philippines, but not Cuba, because they made certain arrangements with Cuba to be able to control them. Two things in particular. One, they took over a part of Cuba as a military base, a naval base, Guantanamo. Yeah. Still exists.
Still have it. Yeah.
And two, they had an arrangement with the puppet governments in Cuba that they can always, first of all, that U.S. investors and businessmen would have free rein in Cuba, and two, that the U.S. had a right to intervene to protect them if necessary, right? So they managed to control Cuba completely until 1959.
I think so.
Since then, they've been trying to get it back. It's as simple as that, Nuri. Trying to get it back. And at different times, they've increased or decreased the pressure depending on the world situation. Right now, it's a very dangerous time because, as you know, the United States is losing its hegemony in the world. The power, the economic power of China is not something that you can ignore. They are worried about that, you know.
Indeed.
And so you know what it's like when you have a wounded animal cornered, he's going to be the most dangerous of all. So now that's why you have this period of total and open disregard for international law, total and open disregard for the United Nations and all the principles that it stands for, including sovereignty, right? Which is why they feel they have a right to move into a country, grab its president, kidnap him and run away, and you're supposed to say, yes, that is a good thing. They have a right to do whatever they need to do to impose their dominance. It's all about dominance. And that, of course, is the message to the rest of us. If you don't allow us to dominate you, this is what can happen to you too.
So we have been focusing on this individual called Donald Trump, but as you...
Soviet Socialist Republics, which is now Russia, right? A part of it is now Russia. So there was a balance there that restricted the ability of the United States to do what it wanted. It was during that little balance area that we, the African, the Asian, the Latin American, the Caribbean countries, were able to slip through and get rid of colonialism. We were helped by that, by that situation, by the existence of the Soviet Union. So we had the non-aligned movement, which was extremely strong. When we went to the United Nations, that was the bulwark, right? The United States powerful, but this was powerful. USSR was there, right? That disappeared in the 1990s, and therefore all the restrictions on the power of the United States, presumably, were removed. There were obviously other restrictions. We don't have time to go into now, but a new one has come up, which is the rise of China, the economic power of China, which, because a country can have the greatest military in the world, which President Trump is right in saying, yes, the greatest the world has ever seen, that's all true. But it still can't do whatever it wants just with that military power. The economy has to be able to support it, right? And more, the economy of the United States is in trouble, big trouble, right?
Very serious, very serious.
That makes it a more dangerous time for us, but it also gives us hope that this dominance will not last forever. No empire lasts forever, Nuri, you know that.
Eventually. But the present set of circumstances, Assad, is that we who are small states in the Caribbean, who are, as you said, have had an opportunity to assert a certain level of what we think and call independence, and even that word is being questioned now. What do you mean you are independent? Exactly. If you're independent, how come you can't stand up and say, I'm independent? Talk about the fact that we have found ourselves now with the presence of Mr. Trump, who is a very, in my opinion, taking all that history that you're saying and saying, with me, it's going to stop. I'm not going to vacillate, and I'm not going to have a Obama come in and song as though he's not completely with this, and a Biden that is sidestepping. No, I'm going back to the original Monroe Doctrine. We own this area. How do we as small states navigate that situation? Do we just say, yes, boss, we understand, we have to take care of our own situation, and you do what you want, even if you have to dismiss one who has helped us, one who has aided us, one who has come to our economic help, in fact? How do we deal with that?
It's a very difficult time to be navigating international waters. But again, the United States is powerful, but it's not all powerful, right? And there are still powers or forces in the world that will tend to balance out. Economically, as we mentioned China, we also have the BRICS phenomenon, right?
Yes, coming aboard.
Coming on board, and you still have Europe there that, of course, is just licking the United States now, as it has done for a long time, but more blatantly now. But that will change too. There's going to be some, and a big thing to look at, Nuri, is what is happening inside of the United States, because ultimately it will be the people of the United States themselves that will have to change those policies, right? And it's when they begin to suffer more, maybe, than they've ever suffered before, that they will begin to take cognizance of what's going on. It reminds me, for example, a few weeks ago, the Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada,
right.
The Greenland situation, and so on.
In the 60s, as we know, I mean, we are children of the 60s. There was an internal uproar in the United States vis-a-vis the civil rights movement,
the Vietnam War,
and all of this. And you had young people standing up and saying, enough is enough. We are not going along with this big brother concept. We are now seeing a split in America. Now, Trump is facing one of his lowest polls now in terms of people agreeing with him. But he has got this MAGA or mega movement on one side, but you have continuous, not only with the immigration issue, but you have this continuous protests of people saying, no, 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 we don't go along with that.
Right.
Do you see that eventually becoming a powder keg where Americans will end up being, once again, suppressed, or effort to suppress them by their government, as we saw?
Well, it's happening already, as you know. I mean, a lot of this, the recent stuff that's going down now, we can trace to what's gone on in Gaza, right? We have to go back to that. That was where, so blatantly and so openly, not just Israel, but the United States of America, which is part of the genocide, right, has shown the world that it doesn't give a damn about law, number one. International law means nothing to them, right? Doesn't give a damn about the United Nations or about the principles of the United Nations. It cares nothing about human rights. None at all, nothing. It doesn't care about any morality that may exist, and least of all, it doesn't care about humanity, about human beings, about life even, right? That came on board very openly, blatantly for all to see with the genocide in Gaza, right? Now, of course, it's been going on there for many years, but it was more, it was accentuated in the last few years, right? What was the reaction of the people of the United States? Huge protests in all the campuses, big, demonstrations by people, but especially by students. What happened to them? Where are they? They were totally suppressed. This country that says it is a democracy, they totally suppressed them. They went in there and beat those students. They took them to court. They harassed them. They closed it down. They
threatened the universities.
They took money away from the universities. They removed presidents that they didn't like. They did all that. I don't know what people think generally here, for example, believe. Do Belizeans still think that the United States is a democracy? You think? Or do they see it even?
Well, let me provoke you. Let me provoke you in a bigger picture here, because what you're talking about is almost depending on the international order by taking our case to the ICJ. We've seen the ICJ rule in a way, but being dismissed. For example, Netanyahu is saying that I don't care what kind of genocide case you're bringing against me with ICJ, that don't make no difference.
Right.
What about our situation? Because we are dependent on justice when it comes to the ICJ.
Absolutely.
If the international order is being broken down in that way, what does that say to you as the chief diplomat dealing with the ICJ?
The ICJ has shown that it is adhering to the law.
Okay.
It did so most dramatically in the genocide case that was brought by South Africa, right? Where, of course, you cannot give a judgment now, but it was forced to say something when South Africa brought an application for provisional measures, saying you have to stop this thing before, you can't wait till you decide if it's genocide or not. It's
paradigm exists. Doesn't that suggest that even if it is ruled in our favor, if might of Guatemala decides I'm not going with that, doesn't that put us in peril? In other words, if the ICJ has ruled against
I understand
Israel,
what you're saying. We win the case, but Guatemala said to hell.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Does that concern you?
It does not, because it's not Guatemala that is becoming all powerful. It's the United States of America.
But the United States has the influence.
It has the influence. It won't use it indiscriminately. It has to be careful. I mean, even now, right now, even now with this thing that they're doing against Cuba, right, which is inhumane, it's cruel, it's illegal. I hear that they're taking back a little bit because of the pressures, not just of the world and other of their own citizens, saying, "Man, you can't be that inhumane."
So it may be like the '60s where the Vietnam War was ended because youth went into the street.
Which is why, Nuri, you mentioned something a while ago. I think before we went on air about people wondering if there'll be a protest or something. Which is why that is important. It's important that people stand up, because it's only people standing up. One person in the room standing up against Hitler. There's a famous picture, you remember it?
Yeah.
One person makes a big difference.
Do you think that as our people become more educated in that matter within the Caribbean, I won't focus just on us, that you will see protests in the streets saying basically, look, man, you can't do this. You can't do this.
So. I believe that.
You do believe
so.
it'll
I
build
believe
up
that
to
is so. I believe that is so. And in
especially young people, because
I hope young
older people tend to be a little cautious. We free.
Not only that, maybe we can't walk so far in a protest march. You know what I'm saying? And
but do you sense that the youth are being educated?
I don't sense that because I don't know. You tell me. I really want to know that. Do you think young people in Belize are becoming more aware of how evil the empire is, what it is doing to the world, and are willing to stand up and say, "No, I do not agree with you"? Is that happening?
I don't think at this time.
Then what are we going to do about that, Nuri? You are responsible for that.
Yeah, well, no, you and I are responsible. There's an education process. No, make you get away from
All
it.
right.
Because we've let that whole concept slip out of our hands.
That is true. That is
and we got to get back to that.
But then it's the young people that should be taking our mantle up.
But they need...
We don't get too old already.
They need guidance, They need guidance. Let's go back to Cuba.
All right.
The reality of the situation in Havana is dire. And I heard at the CARICOM summit with the heads of government that they are getting up the gumption that they ought to send humanitarian aid. I know that there are some students in Belize to donate so that something, at least symbolically, that look here, man, we have to do something. We can't just sit back and say, boy, we're sorry for you. We have to do something. And why? Because of the enormous help that we have gotten from Cuba over the last 40 years.
That's one way of looking at it. I say if Cuba hadn't helped us at all, we still have an obligation as human beings.
There's a principle.
Solidarity doesn't depend on you give me and therefore I give you, as you know.
In truth.
We have to be solidarity with people who are being oppressed.
In truth. Right? Let's go also now to the idea of the CARICOM leaders appear to have been split. I'm not only talking about Trinidad and PM.
Well, I don't know if it's true, but I have heard that after the President of the United States made these latest measures against Cuba, the only active leader that denounced it or complained about it was General Vicente.
Johnny. He was
no other.
And why is it we're not making
I don't know why.
Well, he had the strength to stand and to say to power that at least this is what he reported back to me. I never hear his speech. But he reported back
to us. But also he said it at the House meeting here when the President of Guyana was here.
Yes. Thanks for the reminder. I think the bottom line, Assad, and I know we only have a few more minutes with you and Carla, please, we're not going to accept any calls for the ambassador. simply because he has an appointment
For
in
Assad, not the ambassador, Assad. I'm not here as ambassador.
Okay. For Brother Assad.
Yeah.
He has to get to Belmopan, and so we're trying to do as much as we can to draw out of him. So this caller is insisting that Yangetin, no, you will not be able to. Please respect us in this process. All right. Again, going back to response to what the circumstances are. We know how bad it is. We've heard the ambassador interviewed by Marisol as to the dire conditions. It's getting to the point now where people are going to start to die if they cannot get medicines, they can't get these needed fuel. We've got 20-odd students from Belize that are living in Cuba as students. It could become a dire situation, particularly the provocation a couple of days ago, or was it yesterday, where a boat from Florida penetrated the territorial waters, and there was a confrontation.
Right.
4 of them died, 6 of them were detained. Almost sounded like the Bay of Pigs.
Right. Miniature Bay of Pigs.
And that's a serious.
But let me clarify that to Nuri, that is not unique. It's not something that has never happened before. So that was kind of expected. I mean, I was kind of looking. I said, what's the next provocation we're going to have, right? And it proves also the point I've been making to people, that all these new measures are supposed to be because Cuba is a threat to the United States of America. It threatens the national security of the United States because Cuba is exporting terrorism to the United States. Complete lies, no basis for that whatsoever. But there is basis for saying that the United States creates and does terrorist acts in the United States, were living in, residing legally in the United States. I think one of them was in the United States, were living in, residing legally in the United States. I think one of them was a citizen even. Going there with the purpose of terrorism. How did they escape the naval patrol of the United States? I mean,
how did they get through it?
Yeah. They could send 1 million boats to kill people indiscriminately in our waters in the Caribbean. They've killed 150 or so fisher folk, for all we know so far.
Not only Venezuela, but now
all over the
St. Vincent Grenadines. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, a murder, open, barefaced murder. And they can't detect one boat going out. Something is wrong there.
The people of Europe, Spain, and these other areas, and they headed there, and they were under military attack by the Israelis. So I don't put it past that idea of blocking humanitarian aid from reaching Cuba. This is a very serious time that
they would love to do that, but I don't think they can do it.
And why?
Politically, again, going back to the people of the United States, I don't think the people of the United States themselves would allow that to happen. I don't think so. I hope I have that wrong.
I see Americans really rising up when it comes to the way in which ICE is treating many times American citizens.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that the people of the United States is sufficiently engaged at this time with what is going on in Cuba. It's there. Right. Democracy Now! Is pointing out that a lot of stuff is going on, but it hasn't congealed. It hasn't come together.
That's true.
So I'm concerned.
But you also know, of course, that if they do polls for years now, the majority, and a good majority of U.S. citizens are against the blockade of Cuba.
Yeah, for the years.
They're against it.
Indeed. And I've wanted to.
And I heard an interesting thing a couple of days ago, but it's to do with Iran, right? Iran, that the people of the United States don't want a war with Iran. And one of these guys, I don't know if it was a negotiator or a minister for the United States of America, who had been asked about democracy in the United States. I said, do you believe in the people have a right to speak and they have a right to say it? They said, of course. And then they said, but only 21% support going to war.
Going in.
Yeah, but we can't listen. You expect us to have a policy based on what these people say.
Wow.
So,
wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's clear, there's no democracy in the United States of America. Nuri?
Well, before you go, Assad, give us your statement about where you see this unfolding over the next year and the next decade. The reason I say that is because this is not the end of the world. This is a transformation, radical transformation nonetheless. Yeah. How do you see it unfolding?
Okay, well, first of all, we have to find out what is unfolding. What is it, right? What is this new policy or this more emphasis being put on domination by the more blatant, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
The United States has always wanted to dominate Latin America. Let's just keep it here for now. They've used gunboat diplomacy right through the ages, even in recent decades.
Yes.
But it's now becoming more blatant, right? What is driving that? What is driving that? And I would recommend two things for the people of Belize to study. One is the National Security Strategy of the United States, which came out last November.
Yes, it's
right?
out there.
I have it printed because I tried to study it, read it over and over again. This is what it looks like, see?
Yeah.
National Security Strategy of the United States. And another one is the recent, the Secretary of State, right? He gives the foreign policy of the United States. The speech he gave in Europe, in Munich.
Yes.
A few days ago.
The rise of Europeans around the world.
And his message was, look, civilization means Western civilization, and it means Europe. We, United States, we are Europe. We were a pawn, we were made by you, and we are you. So we are one, right? And we have to fight against the barbarians. At one point, he uses that actual word to maintain our dominance. He doesn't use that word, but that's the sense of what he's saying. We have to defend this because this is civilization against barbarity, right? That is, to me, MAGA. What does MAGA mean? Make America Great Again? I think it is saying make America white again. This is white supremacy blatantly pronounced as a policy. It's where the world is going. Because if genocide is okay, then anything is okay, right? Our government has made strong statements about that. Our government broke relations, suspended relations with Israel, etc., etc. But there's hardly been any support for that from the population. In fact, there's been a fighting back.
A blowback, yeah, indeed.
Mostly from what you call the fundamental Christians.
Yeah, indeed.
Mostly from what you call the fundamental Christians who believe that the Bible gave a right to people to take over other people's land. No, not a word, right? Whereas you have trade unions in Italy, for example, stopping shipments from going to Israel and so on, right? So what I want to see is a translation of our education, so we know better, to action. Let us go out there. I would like, for example, one thing. Do you believe it is right that we should open our arms and say, please come in freely, all you child killers of the world? Is that a good thing or not? So then we have a policy where all Israelis
position than the government, but we look at the government too. We have a kind of a schizophrenia.
That's true.
We come out, we protest. We were the first one of the first 7 countries in the world to march against that.
Right.
And then we joined South Africa,
right?
And then we pulled back,
right? Because of fear.
Yeah. So I'm asking that question,
and I think that fear is justified on the part of government to an extent if its own people don't support it. No.
So
you can't have a government going out there and its own people are not saying yes, you're doing right, and doing just the opposite.
So, but if we read it clearly, Johnny clearly came out and criticized.
Not only, he did, and also, for example, apartheid. We haven't spoken. Something we should talk about. Apartheid is a major issue.
We hope you'll come back and we'll explain, because there's so much more that we can talk about. But I'm trying to hammer down this idea that where is the protest going to come from when we look to our leaders and our leaders still have this vacillating, why I look like I deal with it, but at the same time I don't really deal with it.
Well, you know what protest means. If our leaders were on the other side and say, yes, we support the genocide, we support United States clobbering Cuba, all the more we should have protests against it. Yeah. So it's not, you don't protest because your government is in favor, you protest in spite of
on the principle.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you.
I recognize that your time constraint, but you did promise me you will come back at another time.
And we have extended, yes.
Yeah,
well beyond.
you gave us some
and try the
additional
patience of your people listening. Yes.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
All right, good.
All the very best.
Yes,
Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. We'll take our break and we'll be right back, and we'll open the phone lines for those who are trying to get in. Yeah.
February is all about Honda. Get special pricing and discounts on all Honda products. Enjoy up to 25% off select Honda products and 20% off Honda parts. Don't forget your B-Bucks whenever you make a purchase. Love your Honda is all about deals and discounts on Honda products throughout the month of February. Only at Benquip Equipment Parts Service.
In Belize, refractive error remains one of the most common yet most easily corrected causes of vision impairment, and we see its impact every single day. The child struggling to read the blackboard, the teacher battling headaches from uncorrected vision, the farmer, the seamstress, or the mechanic whose productivity declines simply because they cannot see clearly. And yet, a simple pair of glasses can change everything. This is why Specs 2030 matters.
This partnership between our local institutions and WHO Specs not only brings global expertise to Belize, but also fosters capacity building at all our health facilities at every level.
We must ensure that we are reaching underserved and rural communities. We must ensure that we are strengthening standards and service delivery. And we must build systems that endure beyond projects and political cycles. The SPECS 2030 framework supports all three of these core principles.
For decades, BEL has powered Belize's growth and progress, lighting homes, energizing industries, and fueling national development. But in a world reshaped by extreme weather patterns, digital transformation, and evolving customer needs, the future of energy demands a new approach. The future of energy is now, and it's not just about new technology, it's about people and how we use, manage, and store power smarter. BEL is leading the transformation, blending modern advancements with the wisdom of sustainable energy practices. Integrating technologies will redefine how Belize produces and uses energy. With distributed generation and smart grid technologies, customers are becoming power partners. Smart metering, advanced metering infrastructure, faster, safer service, and actionable energy insights. Distributed generation, integrating rooftop solar, microgrids, and battery storage for two-way power flows into the national grid. Together, we are bringing two-way power flows into the national grid. Together, we are bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
The Belize Tax Service has been serving the country well since its inception. But like many tax administration systems worldwide, it faces new challenges that require modern solutions. The Semi-Autonomous Revenue Authority, SARA, will be established by legislation that will modernize how Belize administers taxes. Countries across our region, Jamaica, Barbados, and Guyana, have undertaken similar efforts at modernization, and we're using their experiences, successes, and challenges to design a SARA specific to our tax landscape. SARA will operate under the Ministry of Finance with an advisory board comprised of experts in finance, tax, law, and public administration who will provide sound guidance while maintaining the required oversight of public funds. SARA will provide the framework for modernizing tax administration, improving the way we serve taxpayers, and supporting Belize's development. A semi-autonomous revenue authority, SARA, will create opportunities for improving human resource management, accelerating digital transformation that reduces turnaround time and paperwork, and providing more responsive customer service while maintaining strict accountability standards. SARA, a progressive tax administration for a modern Belize.
All right, welcome back. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize, Morning Vibes. It's the 27th, nearly the end of the month of February already. You know, people got this saying, we're gone. How does time fly? How this time so quick? But it's the same time, just our perception is that it's moving faster. Our numbers here for those who were trying to get in and just could not get in. We were trying to get as much out of Mr. Assad rather than having to break and have a conversation, because he didn't come for that. He came just to give the statements and the answers that he came to give. But it's your turn. If you have a strong statement or question that you have, then this is the time. 280-5848, 280-5848, and you could give us your opinion on what he had to say or your opinion on the situation with the United States and Cuba and our response in the Caribbean region. All of our leaders coincidentally met in St. Kitts and Nevis. Certainly it was not prearranged that what Mr. Trump was doing had anything to do with that, because that is an annual event. But nonetheless, it came at a very...
He got so agitated. I heard in your response the same unconscious, I'm going to say, if not subtle defense of the authorities on that matter. That gentleman has been calling in. But it's not only that street, it's the entire south side. In my opinion, that is dreadfully neglected. Because somebody has made the decision that we are going to turn into real estate for sale. That's really the ultimate purpose. So don't fix streets, let the people suffer, and then they move and they go to Ladyville, and when the gang violence turned on, people run flying because they don't want to live in the chaos. So we cannot, we will never solve this problem in our region, in your own private life, if you don't confront the reality of what you're dealing with. Western Avenue needs to be repaired. Look, nobody has come to tell you all about the rise of tuberculosis in this country. As a matter of fact, if you listen to them, we don't have a sickness in this country. That's not true. And respiratory illnesses are high on the list.
Sure. Tell me about it.
Before there was even COVID, then COVID only made it worse. So if you have a situation as the Cemetery Road where storage sump leaks regularly, the whole neighborhood is suffocated in the horrible odor, but not only the odor, all the microbes, the pathogens that are floating in the air. When cars drive through that, they pick it up and take it somewhere else. And that is continuous, Nuri. Continuous. I have lived on the two sides of the town. I know the two sides. I know them as a child, and I know them as an adult. And I can tell you, this south side is a neglected area of the city. And I say it is intentional. Intentional. And if you have people living in these dread conditions, then evidently you're going to end up with a society with dread social behavior. It's only inevitable. Now, let me link that to Assad and Mr. Schumann. You were trying to question on this matter of the ICJ, and he has to defend the ICJ now because he was one of the ones promoting us going to the ICJ, Nuri. Now, if you listen to him, we don't need to worry. The ICJ is doing well and strong. But then explain to me how the Security Council voted to give Morocco the right to create an autonomous zone out of the western part of the Western Sahara. Please explain that to me. When No ruling of the ICJ is being paid attention to. They're redrawing the map as they choose, Nuri. I believe that was what you may have. I don't know if that was what you were trying to say, or imply, but that is the ultimate. Look at what happened over this weekend with the British Museum and the Encyclopedia Britannica. But the Encyclopedia Britannica happened before the British Museum. The British Museum has removed all mention of Palestine. The word Palestine is not appearing in their displays on the Middle East. They are saying that it's not appearing because they are displaying ancient Middle East. So they are using the word Canaan and Canaanites. This is what these people are doing. And as the news media house that reported on it pointed out that one of their own reporters had done a thorough job on the Encyclopedia Britannica, which did the same thing sometime before. Look at the Gulf of Mexico. If you not call it the Gulf of America, you're in trouble. Or Gulf of Trump or whatever he decides you're supposed to call it, you're supposed to call it. When all the maps of the world show the Gulf of Mexico. So they are redrawing. You see, Nuri, when a person and a people do not have wide grasp of, we have to choose now. I love partying. So I know I am not against partying. And her granduncle and her friends, and so daddy and my mother's friends, husband, swarm us to safety in the high house at the front. No time for party then. And this time is no time for party, Nuri. This is no time for, we have to get serious. Because if a country like Canada is now confronting openly the fact of colonization, I don't know if you're aware that the United States called upon Canada in a secret document, diplomatic document, to agree to a new contract for access to Canadian fuel for a 25-year contract. And this contract will sell Canadian fuel to Americans at an extremely discounted price, and that price is fixed. In other words, the United States is using the future's market theory on Canada. But it's not only the future about Canada now, and if the price goes up in the market, Canada will have to shave off a $14, I think it's $14, on every increased price. It's not a percentage if I understood it properly. They're giving a certain amount of money. So it doesn't matter what the price is, Canada will be losing. Now, that is the existing arrangement with the United States that Canada has had. And so what did the Canadian Prime Minister set about? Because he's a battler, he run with figures. He didn't run with emotion. So he mobilized a team to calculate the loss that would come to Canada if they signed that agreement. But he didn't only do that. He calculated the loss that Canada had suffered in the previous agreement, which was in the 800 other billion amount, near a trillion, and classified it, the new thing and the old thing, as the perfect instruments of colonization. I am paraphrasing him, but that's what he said. And it is colonization. It is colonization when you come and tell me what I have to sell you my products. It is colonization when you tell. Now, I would like to see Mexico do a similar calculation on its losses in terms of fuel, in terms of labor, and all of that, because it is, you realize, Nuri, that Mexico has always been disorderly. But the disorder increased with NAFTA. The social disorder increased with NAFTA.
Yeah.
So all the maquilas that they had up on the northern border with Monterrey, where all the people flocked to go and work, they were not being paid the rates in the United States. That's at the heart of this American problem and our problem and the world's problem. They came and told us to globalize. To globalize meant we would then jump on the bandwagon and give them the labor cheaper than their own crops were grow, and you sell it, and then they process it. We sell the sugar. The crops were grow, and you sell it, and then they process it. We sell the sugar. We sell anything as somewhat raw form, and then they process it. That's primary. Then tertiary services. But I have always taught my students, long ago, that I at another level, a fourth level. No textbook I know adding a fourth level, but I had a fourth level in my classes. That the transaction in money, the sale, the lending and borrowing of money in all forms, be it in cash, in securities, in stocks you have, in whatever, in loans that as Belize did, we borrowed in the international private market, and then we went and sold that loan at a discount, and then we now had a more expensive loan. That became the thing that crowd concentrated on. And what did that do? That put Americans, a whole set of Americans, particularly the black people, because they were moving up the social ladder with the civil rights movement. So they had to get them, they had to keep them at the bottom, locked into poverty, so that they didn't, you don't have to provide for that crowd. Then are the untouchables of India. Then are the American untouchables, American Indian untouchables. That's what they did with them. And now you end up with, but then, as though that were not bad enough, you keep on migrating people into your country for cheap labor. And every migration puts pressure on the original population, the Native American population, the American black population, the American poor white population. All of them, the pressure was piling on them. But you keep this flow of cheap labor, because they're not prepared to give it a cheap labor because you have laws. They can take you to court to claim non-compliance with wage laws. So you go for the cheap foreign labor that you can manage, lock into container on your farm, and all this. This is a simple new. This is a big mess. Yeah. And we, countries like ours, we get caught in because our leadership is venal, dishonest, irresponsible, undisciplined. You just have to look at Western Avenue. That gentleman has been calling in forever, Nuri. And he has valid points. When dust is flying all over the place, you start with the cold, you move to the allergy, you move to the sinus. Before you know it, you have chronic bronchitis. You end up with the certain kind of pneumonia, and maybe TB down the road and cancer down the road. Those are realities, Nuri. Singapore don't have that problem. Why, when you're going to lead countries like ours, and I wanted to see what it was like throughout the society. And they used to worry, I said, I'm not afraid. Nobody's going to speak Spanish. And they abuse us, Nuri. They abuse us. Where did all they abuse us, Nuri? They abuse us. Where did all that money go? All the money. You said that it was what? Allegations. Well, go and study the figures for test of national wealth for the Latin America and the Caribbean. They get that from known material. And we are at a minimum between 40 and 50%. So between 40 and 50%, it's higher. But between 40 and 50%, we steal Nuri from our people. Our own people, because it's our people we are stealing from. Look at the Bliss Institute, Nuri. That is one I don't think I'll ever die and get over that. We got 10 million at 2% from Mexico. Cheap loan. You saw 2%, you saw 8 million there in that this and it was finished? No. Right on your radio station, as a matter of fact, I was even looking at the financials of it. It was on your radio station discussion between and amongst Modes and Infotech that I began to look at that. And look at it now, thoroughly. So we have to change, Nuri. And you all in the media have a responsibility to lead the change. If you're not going to lead the change, then don't talk to us, because we want the truth. We want to hear. If that gentleman is living the truth on Western Avenue, he's living it. He's living it. When I tell you about Cemetery Road, I know what I'm talking about. I'm living it. You live with the odor, the smell, the thing. Oh my God. Then you can't lock the window because you need the air. And all that still floating in the atmosphere. And you mean they can't correct that yet, Nuri?
Yeah.
They can't correct that? No, man. Them out of order, Papa.
All right, sister.
Way out of order. The whole Caribbean, the rulership is on in the... Now you don't know who to put in. Yeah. Because the people have to change. If their decisions decide when they come, I don't want your money, I don't care how much you give me. I want better government. The minute they decide that rule and walk into that urna, into that polling booth, knowing they never took a cent for their vote, that day the change begins. Because that is the day the revolution starts.
We'll have to stop there.
Revolution don't start until we make up our mind to do that.
Yeah, we'll have to stop there, sister, this morning.
Yeah, I took up all the time. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. We'll take our next break and we'll be back.
There are not words to describe how thankful, how happy I am that I can call this my home. I am 50 years old. This is permanent for me, a home. I can say is mine. This is permanent for me, a home. I can say is mine for me and my kids.
I wish everybody could get the chance that I get, because this will help me to survive.
It's a really special feeling because you know that you will be able to give them an opportunity to have a legacy, something they can pass to their kids and something that their kids won't go through.
We absolutely take the opportunity to once again thank the initiative of Minister Julius, thank the initiative of the government in voting the monies.
We can't build enough of these houses. This program is a feather in the government's cap.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service
and equipment. Nando's also takes pride Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
So you don't hear about how you could shop online with Builders Hardware?
It's easy and convenient. Plus, you get special deals and discounts online where you not get in at the store. Just log on to shopbuildersbz.com and pay with your Visa, MasterCard, debit or credit card. You could choose to pick up your order from the Smart Lacaneda Builders or Easy could deliver for you. If that was a big thing, the Builders truck could deliver for you. If you need more information about anything, you could start chat right here online with a salesperson. We're ready to help you. No need to burn gas and waste time in a traffic. Go to shopbuildersbz.com.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper.
Welcome back, and we have just enough time to thank you for being with us. But before I go, I just want to send condolences to the family of my friend Roy Davis, who just passed away a few days ago. He was not only a great journalist, but a good, down-to-earth, brother. And, but God knows why and when, so none of us has that choice. So we send condolences to his family on the occasion of his passing. We want to thank Anthony Grant downstairs, and upstairs we have our new MCO, Ms. Thompson, and we have our brother Harlan Wagner as the trainer this morning, and of course Mr. Clifton Lewis. Belizeans, stand strong and stand firm. Do the right thing. For now, we're gone.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria. con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente. Ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online, de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m. en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio.
Through NHI, thousands of Belizeans have benefited from improved access to essential services without the burden of overwhelming out-of-pocket costs.
Countrywide, we have approximately 220,000 persons registered, and we are expecting that the inclusion now of Kaya District will take us at least 300,000 for the first year. To access services, you need to register at a clinic of your choice. You register using your Social Security card, so you can go on and register your entire family.
I think NHI is a program that helps bridge that gap between patients and getting not only affordable but quality healthcare services.
We don't have to come to Belmopan to have a medical care. You'll be right there, improve the lives of our residents and our children.
NHI program have always been a dream. I have heard, we have seen the benefits, and we have always desired that Lalamos Adventist Hospital could be a partner with the NHI program. Healthcare has been very challenging for many. As we learn about the NHI, we are seeing an affordable care. This is a means of preventative care. You don't need to wait until you are sick. A healthier beliefs, a healthier you, a healthier family is better for all of us.
To the 80,000 Belizeans in this district who are now eligible, let me be clear about what this means for you and your family. It means that the doctor you visit, the medicine you need, the chronic care management for conditions like diabetes and hypertension, these essential services are now backed by the full strength of a national system designed to put quality care within your reach.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to
even if you're at home, just call in, trouble your bed. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, we gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Belize, everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, voice our opinion and place, no calling, trouble your bed.